Alright, welcome back artistic ladies and gentlemen to another Meta Mondays episode in this Pokémon TCG Online series, where we take a look at competitive decks from the past or the present in the Pokémon TCG Online meta, as well as decks that might or might not. Mecha challenges us to a battle with his colorless Water, Psychic and Fairy deck. I think this is Xerneas Break, Water, Psychic, Fairy, although I don't know what the Water typing would be about. Maybe this Xerneas Rainbow Force. At the very least, I think we are up against a Xerneas deck. We do start off with our Scizor. Garbodor is not super useful against Xerneas, I think. So let's promote our Scizor. Let's attach an energy to our Scizor maybe. And then Shaymin is Seismitoad there that we see. Seismitoad, so maybe this Aqua Box. Alright, then I'll discard my Garbodor, I'll discard this Escape Rope. We are going to keep the Crushing Hammer and the Puzzle. Those cards are going to be very useful. We are going to grab ourselves our Hoopa for another, maybe actually not, let's grab ourselves another Scizor, not a Hoopa. Yeah, I don't want to bench a Hoopa at the moment. I don't want to see a Lysandre on the Hoopa. I don't mind a Lysandre on my Scizor so much, but I do mind a Lysandre on my Hoopa, and we already discarded one Escape Rope, so we only have one more Escape Rope. There we do find a Parallel City, but not much else, so we will have to use this this here Puzzle of Time for an Ultra Ball, and then we can Ultra Ball for Shaymin. Alright, and we also can get an energy there. So let's end our turn and see what our opponent does. I'm gonna keep my Stadium in hand for now. We might be able to use it later on to reduce the damage output from the Seismitoad EX. So far, not the best of starts. At least we have a Crushing Hammer. And at least we know we are going to top deck an Ultra Ball for maybe a Hoopa or a Shaymin. I should have seen if there was another Shaymin in my deck. I didn't really pay attention to it. We see my opponent discard a Lugia-EX and an N. Would have loved to see an N from my opponent here. But I think my opponent is not going to do that because he discarded the N. Unless he gets it back with a V-Seeker. Maybe that's what's going to happen here. And we will see an Ultra Ball for a Hoopa from my opponent. I think that's what we will see here. I think that's a Psychic typing in my opponent's deck. Hoopa is Psychic typing. Seismitoad is Water typing. The question is, what is the Fairy typing? It is, Aromatisse. This is a classic Seismitoad deck, I think. Skyfield, oh my goodness, play Skyfield. Wow, we will be able to reduce a lot of Pokemon from our opponent's bench. There we do see the Fighting Fury Belt and Shaymin. Hopefully he benches like 8 Pokemon and then we can play down our Parallel City and force him to discard a ton of Pokemon. Even plays Dragon Rayquaza, and there we do see the N. So it's a lot of different types of Pokemon there. Maybe it is indeed Xerneas Rainbow Road. Oh my goodness, this is an even worse hand than the previous one. Is this even possible? A DCE, so we will get item locked. I cannot believe this. We got a screw there from that N. Quaking Punch for the item lock will hit for 50. So at least we will knock out this Seismitoad before the Seismitoad knocks us out, I think. Let's end. Maybe we'll evolve into our Mega Scizor here. Another Scizor. We don't find our Mega Scizor. And we cannot end in the next turn either. So this is a deck from the old format here from my opponents. And actually we will not knock out the Seismitoad before my opponent knocks us out. Because he hit first and he has a Fighting Fury Belt as well. Yeah, this is a deck from the old format because Seismitoad is going to get rotated. So from the 1st of September, which is today, or depending on when I release this video, might be in the past already, you will not be able to play Seismitoad in the standard format. We do see my opponent get a Sycamore, I think. There we do see Aromatisse. Not useful at the moment, that Aromatisse, because my opponent does not have any Fairy energies in play. But we could soon see some Fairy energies on some Xerneas. Wish I could find my Parallel City right now. There we do see Rainbow Energy on the Shaymin-EX, never mind, does not seem to play Fairy Energies, and another N, he's going to end us again. That's amazing, he is going to end us again. We get a chance at finding our Mega Scizor now, because we were stuck with a really bad hand there. An Energy, Sycamore, not really what I was looking for. We do have the Trubbish, so we can shut down the Manaphy and the Aromatisse. And then we do see the Fairy Transfer onto the Seismitoad. Is going to try to Oh no, maybe actually onto the Rayquaza EX. He's going to power up the Rayquaza EX, it seems. Interesting. Alright then, alright. So will we see another Quaking Punch? Most likely we will see another Quaking Punch. Those darn Quaking Punches. Those darn Quaking Punches indeed. Quaking Punch for 40 more. We do also see the Giratina, so we need to get out our Garbodor now. There's our Trubbish, there's our Garbodor as well. We'll have to discard another Garbodor. We'll power up a Scizor. And we will Sycamore our hand away. It would be nice if we could use those hammers, but we cannot at the moment. And we miss out on our Mega Scizor again. Do I counter the stadium right now? I don't think so. I don't think I will. What do we do here? We'll simply the Gale Thrust or maybe Steel Wing slow down my opponent in actually he can knock us out in the next turn, so let's Gale Thrust. If he manages to find another Rainbow Energy, my opponent can move the Rainbow Energy to the Seismitoad, and then the Seismitoad can hit for a Grenade Hammer for a KO. And we cannot really kill this Seismitoad in return, because we only hit for 110, which is just 10 damage short on this Seismitoad. So the Quaking Punch is actually screwing us over big time here. Screwing us over big time indeed. My opponent discards Zero Sick and stuff like that. Stuff like that indeed. Lysandre and Energy. Can he find a Rainbow Energy? That's the big question at the moment. If it does, we will go down. If it doesn't, we will stay alive actually. There we see a Hoopa. Alright, we are definitely going to counter the stadium right now. He's going to fill up his bench even more, and then we are going to force him to discard a crap ton of Pokemon. That is going to be our play here. Another Seismitoad, Sylveon, and Grass Pokemon. I didn't see the Grass Pokemon because the card was still loading. Maybe a Trevenant EX. We do see the Seismitoad come out, and the Shaymin-EX. Alright, all we need to do is get our Mega Scizor in play, and we can very easily deal with my opponent's Pokemon here, because we can discard those special energies. Then we do see the transfer of the Rainbow Energy, and that means my opponent has another Rainbow Energy, I believe. DC actually does not have another Rainbow Energy. Retreats into the Seismitoad on a bench. Alrighty. Okay, well, interesting. Rumour of Gratitude heals up the Seismitoad on the bench. And then we will see another Quaking Punch. At some point we will find our Mega Scizor here. And Energy, okay. Let's counter the stadium. Fantastic stuff. We could put it the other way and reduce the damage from the Seismitoad by 20, so it only hits for 20, but then he can still use the Grenade Hammer, so I am going to opt to reduce my opponent's bench size, force him to discard a ton of Pokemon. He will probably want to keep the Aromatisse, he'll probably want to keep the Manaphy-EX, so he'll probably have to discard everything else, including the Giratina and the Rayquaza. Down goes Hoopa, down goes Shaymin, down goes... This is gonna be interesting. Our Parallel City really came in clutch there. I might just bench another Shaymin to draw one extra card. You never know, we might find our Mega Scizor. If we do, I will not attack. I will simply Mega Evolve my Pokemon on the bench. Down goes the Rayquaza, and then one more Pokemon. Down goes... What is my opponent going to discard here? Let's see it. Let's see it. It is the Shaymin or the Manaphy. Either of the two. Discards the Manaphy. Yes. Alright. Fantastic. Let's bench our Shaymin. Let's try to find ourselves something here. Maybe our Pokemon Ranger. Another energy. Not what we wanted to see. So Gale Thrust it is for 50 again on this Seismitoad. Oh boy, we still have a chance at taking this game, but we need much better luck in finding our cards, because so far our luck has been pretty darn we have been not blessed by the PTC Joe Gods at all. We do see DCE on the Seismitoad, an Ultra Ball. He's going to grab maybe a Shaymin, but he cannot play down that Shaymin unless he has a counter stadium. So I'm not sure what we will see my opponent Ultra Ball for. This card's a Mega Rayquaza. And something else there, we see an Aromatisse, alright. He's thinning out his deck a little bit more. 2 VN Seekers in discard pile already. A VN Seeker for Sycamore is not going to end us. We are slowly powering up more attackers on our bench, so even if my opponent knocks out our Scizor-EX, we have more attackers ready to go here. I think I might just switch into my Scizor on the bench in the next turn. But again, we are just a little bit short to knock out this Scizor. He's healing up his Seismitoad on the bench though, which is a bummer. Can we find our Mega Scizor? I keep asking, I know, but it is super important that we do here at some point find our Mega Scizor. There's our Hoopa. We can play down our Hoopa in the next turn for our Mega Scizor. So let's attach an energy here. Let's hit for 50 damage again on this Seismitoad, and then we will in the next turn Mega Evolve. We can knock out this Seismitoad here in one hit, unless my opponent puts it on the bench and heals it up with the Shaymin-EX. There we do see an energy on the Shaymin. My opponent can now move these energies around. Fairy transfer indeed. Alright, we'll probably sacrifice our Trubbish, to be honest, while we set up or while we Mega Evolve. That is going to be my game plan. Will my opponents discard these DCEs? Heals up the Shaymin, heals up the Seismitoads. So let's see here. Do we see the retreat, or do we see maybe my opponent move the energies to the active Seismitoads? But then if you knock out that Seismitoad, my opponent loses a ton of energies. Quaking Punch for the knockout is not going to move any energies. We will promote our Trubbish here. And that is going to be our plan. And then we will Hoopa for the Mega Scizors. Go on, come on, Mega Scizor. Yes, there we go. Alright, we might be able to Mega Evolve twice actually, because this Trubbish is not going to get KO'd anytime soon. So let's put an energy on the Scizor on the bench and then Mega Evolve into our Scizor here, into our Mega Scizor-EX. I just don't really want to see a Lysandre. My opponent has one more VS Seeker for a Lysandre, or maybe he runs two Lysandres, so he can actually Lysandre two more times here. And that would be a bit of a problem for us. If he just Quaking Punches, we will evolve into our other Mega Scizor. And then we stand a chance at taking this game. All we need to do is break the item lock at some point here. Either he breaks it right here by Grenade Hammering, or either we will break it by discarding his DCEs with our Iron Crusher attack. There's a Sky Field, so he can bench some more Pokemon again. What kind of Pokemon will my opponent be able to find here? Does he have actually a Super Rod to shuffle back his Pokemon? An energy on the Shaymin-EX. Just a basic Fairy energy. And there's a Lysandre. Oh no, there's an N. Never mind. The last VS Seeker for an N. Can you believe it? He uses his last VS Seeker for an N, not for a Lysandre. So all we can see now is one more Lysandre, and we get ourselves a pretty darn good hand. Trainer's Mail from our opponents. Okay. And a Super Rod. Alright, he is looking for a Super Rod, and he did find a Super Rod there. Question is, will it be in time here? He is looking for his Manaphy EX to get that Manaphy back on the bench so he can switch between his Seismitoads. That's what he is looking to do here. At least that's what I believe he's looking to do. Does he have any DCEs in the discard pile? One DCE in the discard pile, so he only has 0 DCEs left at the moment. Shuffles back the Lugia and a Manaphy. Can he find the Manaphy this turn with an Ultra Ball maybe? He has 2 more Ultra Balls somewhere, but I don't think he will be able to find it. So will we see the item lock again, or will we see the Grenade Hammer? Aroma of Gratitude. This Seismitoad on the bench is nearly healed off. And a Quaking Punch for 30. It's just continuing the Quaking Punch. So we will keep on attaching energies here. I'm going to attach to my Hoopa, so we can always attach our Hoopa by simply attaching energy. And then we will simply pause the turn. I'm not going to. Will I Sycamore? No, I'm going to end my opponent in the next turn after he knocks out our Trubbish here. And him back down to 3 cards. That is going to be my plan. So we'll simply pass the turn to my opponents. Although he might not knock out our Trubbish actually. If he finds his Manaphy, he can knock out our Trubbish by retreating into the Seismitoad with the Fighting Fury Belt. An Ultra Ball does find a Manaphy. He's going to discard an Ultra Ball and a Sky Field. Alright. No more Sky Fields from my opponent, I think. I think he only runs 3. So all we need to do is discard this Sky Field with our Iron Crusher attack. But our main goal will be to discard the DCEs at the moment. Or actually, if we can, the Rainbow Energies. We'll want to discard those Rainbow Energies for sure. because the Quaking Punch takes a long time to knock out our Mega Scizor EX. So will we see the Manaphy, or will we maybe see the Lugia? There's the Manaphy indeed. Alright, the Manaphy for the free retreat for the Seismitoad in the active spot. We can also always Lysandre that Shaymin on my opponent's bench, because that aroma of gratitude is really annoying. And another Quaking Punch is not going to retreat, it's simply going to Quaking Punch over and over. Well, maybe I will Sycamore now. Seems to be stuck with a little bit of a bad hand there, my opponent. So we will Sycamore our hand away. An energy, Puzzles of Time, fantastic. I'm gonna keep the energy in my hand for now. We'll simply end our turn here and see what our opponent does. At least our deck is thinned out, so we should be able, if my opponent ends us, we should be able to find useful cards from our hands. And we have our Lysandre here, so we can Lysandre something on the bench if my opponent decides to retreat something. Like the Seismitoad EX here, which we definitely want to deal with. Fairy Transfer, does my opponent maybe have a Lysandre in his hand that he's transferring these rainbow energies? Transfers one rainbow energy but not a second one. What's the point of that? I'm not sure I understand. Retreats the Seismitoad there. And Aroma of Gratitude. Okay, so just to retreat the Seismitoad, that was all. And then we'll see the energy get moved back onto the Seismitoad on the bench, I think. Which means we can knock out that Seismitoad with our Lysandre and get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually moves it to the Manaphy X to keep it safe. Alright, that's very smart from my opponent. We can knock out 4 energies here, or 3 energies from the Seismitoad EX on the bench. And Fairy Energy onto the Seismitoad in the active spot. That's okay. Fairy Energy is not too useful. Does not really help out my opponent. And will we then just see the Quaking Punch for the KO? Oh, actually moves the Rainbow Energy. We will knock out this Shaymin then. We will Lysandre that Shaymin and knock it out. Because we really don't mind the Quaking Punch at all. So down goes our Trubbish. Yes, we will take 2 prizes right here with our Mega Scizor. And knock out that Shaymin. That is the biggest annoyance for us at the moment. We'll keep the energy in our hands. There it is, Iron Crusher for the knockout. We'll also discard this pesky Skyfield Stadium. Yes, for sure. Let's discard that as well. Let's give ourselves 2 prizes. What is my opponent going to be able to do in return here? Can he find another Rainbow Energy? There is our Pokemon Ranger. Our Pokemon Ranger was prized. So we will be able to use our Pokemon Ranger in this turn and then use our Puzzles of Time to get hammers back from the discard pile, attach a Spirit Link and stuff like that, and maybe take the game that way. We will be able to come back here, that's what it looks like. And we have our Flow Stones as well that we can use. Things are looking up all of a sudden for us. My opponent is slowly but surely running out of steam here. His Quaking Punch train is running out of steam. He needs some more fuel, but I'm not sure if he can get it. There's a Lysandre on our Scizor EX on the bench. And that is okay. And a retreat into the Seismitoad EX. That is definitely okay by me. So we can hit for 40 damage and a pass onto our turn via Seeker. Alright, let's first of all Pokemon Ranger here. There we go, we can finally use our item cards. We will attach an energy and then we will retreat the Scizor. We'll also attach a Spirit Link here, attach a Float Stone to our Hoopa, attach a Float Stone to our Shaymin. Let's retreat into our Mega Scizor. Did we discard our Super Rod already? No, we did not, so we can always find our Super Rods and use our Super Rod if we really need to. We have a VS Seeker to get back the Pokemon Ranger as well, so let's grab ourselves 2 hammers here. Where are our hammers? Yes, there's our hammers. 4 energies in a discard pile. Let's have a look. 4 in play, we have 1 more energy. We have 1 more energy somewhere. Alright. And we know my opponent cannot use any more Lysandres. He's out of VS Seekers and most likely out of Lysandres, which is good. It is a heads here, so let's discard that Rainbow Energy. Then let's try to flip another heads. Yes, another heads. Let's discard this here DCE, I think, to this Seismitoad. So my opponent might miss out on the Quaking Punch in the next turn. And then we'll simply get back our Pokemon Ranger, make sure we can use the Ranger once again, and we will Iron Crusher, not discard any DCEs. I'm completely fine with that. I just don't want to see any more Quaking Punches for a while here. and we should be able to take the game. I'm not scared at all of the Seismitoad EX with the 4 DCEs attached to it, or the 2 DCEs, and there's the concede indeed. All we needed was that one turn of item cards to disrupt my opponent's strategy here. That was all we needed to take the game. My goodness, that was an amazing turn there with that Pokemon Ranger. That was just fabulous. I cannot believe that just happened. Look at that. Oh, I feel so satisfied there. We managed to break the item lock from the Seismitoad eventually. Oh, what a nice ending for today's episode, I believe. Yes, I'm going to leave it here. We dealt 440 damage versus 310 from my opponent. Mega Scizor EX MVP versus Seismitoad EX. And look at this. We flipped 3 heads and 0 tails. We definitely were lucky there in the end, but we definitely deserve this for all the quaking punches we sat through in this match. Alright, I hope you have a truly carptastic day. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this episode. It is always much appreciated. And I will see you next time with another episode in this Pokemon TCG Online series.
Karp, 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 Karp. Karp, 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 Karp.